We're not gonna be that long.
We're not here to deride them.
Huh?
We're not here to deride them.
No, we're not here to do it because we're gonna talk about really just. I think we're asking a relevant question. We're asking a relevant question. What is the conscious community doing for the black community?
Or what has been their
what they built?
what has been their accomplishments
The accomplishments.
since their inception publicly as quote unquote
The conscious community
to today.
So guys, this is D Durrell. I am here, guys, with Jamal Johnson, the father of Umar Johnson. He is here in H-Town. We're gonna have a intellectual conversation. And we need answers because these people who come online claiming that they doing this, they building this, we're helping the community. And so as we had a discussion today, as we admit, we want to know what has the conscious community done for the black since their inception? What have they built for the black community? So, brothers, just kind of tell me, like, when did you really like you taking a look at everything? Like, okay, I'm online. I see these guys saying that you're talking about the Sinellas, you're talking about the Tazarians, you're talking about the Moors, and all these people that claim they got all these different, um, I guess, theories, and they come from these different areas. But what are they really doing? Like, so what's your criteria for that?
Well, let me say, I would think, and I've spoken to some of these people myself.
Okay.
In the past.
Right.
But I think that some of them may have done some things in their locale.
Okay.
But when you speak about the conscious community, I think that's a countrywide thing.
Okay, so you're looking at everybody throughout not just the community itself, but everybody in any major city.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be based on the pro-black stance.
Right.
I'm asking, as I've asked years ago, how has the community benefited from it? Right. Tangibly.
Right.
In other words, what has been created? What can I go visit? What can I pass down? I'm not speaking about just verbal, words. Exchange, and as a result, maybe some knowledge.
Right.
I'm talking about bricks and mortars.
Right.
Is there a brick and mortar building of the conscious community that people can go and get information?
Right.
Throughout the country, are there various centers that speak about the accomplishments of the conscious community? Right. And those who lead it, whoever they are. Right. I've always had a problem finding out who the quote unquote leaders are. Right. And so as a result, when I see these different entities and how they all sometimes clash.
They do clash a lot. They beef a lot. They go against each other and all of this different stuff.
I'm wondering, who are they getting guidance from? Right. Right. Then when I see some of them elevate, I see the crabs in the barrel mentality going on. Right. I'm like, well, who arms all that out? Right. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at all that, and the number one thing I'm concerned about is the influence they have on the youth. Right. How has the youth benefited from whatever it is that they are imparting upon these youth? Right. How does it show itself? Where has it shown itself in the last 10 to 15, 20 years? Right. That is true. What has been the purpose of the conscious community long term in a way in which it can be carried on, not only be carried on verbally, but be carried on structurally? What structure has been built over all these years? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And when I speak on this, I'm speaking in reference to my upbringing and various organizations like the Black Panther Party. Right. You see? Which they have a Black Panther Party. They have a new Black Panther Party in Texas. Right. Yeah. So when you speak about the Black Panther Party, as soon as you think of that, you think about structure. You think about action. You think about history. You think about something you can actually see happening and can invite people to, right, be a part of, to cause a change. Where is that in the conscious community? And these are the kind of things I've been always wondering. Yeah, right. So when we look at it, we're looking at it like we're looking at organizations that were brought up in the past that had these structures. They had
The Black Panther Party had things. The NOI got their buildings, and they had the newspapers. They had restaurants. Right. You got tangible things that you can see. So we're looking at this as in contrast to the current state of what's called this online conscious community, that we don't see any of those things. Mm. And so the question is again, and as we had our discussion, you say this is with everybody. This goes for Sinetta, to Umar, everybody. Like, what have y'all built?
I mean, the bottom line is this: if you die tomorrow,
how it's going to be passed down?
What represents you after you're gone?
Right.
What represents you after you're gone? If you have something that is established, how well known is it by those who you claim to represent that they can utilize it after you pass on?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's excellent. That I get exactly what you're saying.
These are the kind of things I'm not understanding.
So my thing is, this is what I hear when they talk about building. They claim that these YouTube channels create awareness. They do education. They create awareness. Okay. You don't seem too convinced about that. But
resulting in what?
But and not only that, they do talk about. Okay, like say for instance, Sinetta has in New York, they got their own little buildings where they go and do the events and all that kind of stuff, the whole money thing behind stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that they do, like, I guess, the festivals, the black markets.
Local things, right?
These are local. Some local.
Primarily in probably what? 1 or 2 areas in the country, maybe?
They don't do it. To me, what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily like a day-to-day. Like, they're doing events that may be monthly, they may be periodical, but it's not like, okay, we started off here. In 5 years, we should have more things, and then we constantly grow. I don't see that. Like, say for instance, I think if, let's say, somebody started a YouTube channel and then they had their own television channel, that to me is growth. And that show, or even let's say they had a public radio station, public, they had a newspaper, they had media. That's in media. That's growth. But saying that you got signing in a network that's just uploading videos, doing live streams, you've been doing that for 15, 20 years. Like, where is the growth where it becomes more accessible, more valuable to other people? That sounds like to me what you're looking at. How is this going to influence the masses?
Yeah, and this conversation is not to be meant to be derogatory.
No, you're not. But we're giving examples because we're talking about online. Right. Because as we just met a guy that doing the work. You doing the work, right? And so, but these guys, the guy, he's like, if you put that particular person next, you're seeing a totally different person.
He's doing it at 77.
Exactly. He was 77 years old.
77.
Yes.
When he dies, there's something there after he's gone to show his work.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Also, we keep talking about effect upon Black people, right?
Exactly.
What steps have they, what tangible steps? Okay, other than knowledge, what tangible steps have been taken from the conscious community in direct confrontation to white supremacy?
Right.
And what has been the result of that over the past 15 years?
I don't know they have an answer for that, because what I see is people doing content. They comment on. They talk to me. To be honest, I hear the conscious community talking more about religion and ideas and things of that sort. Like, they're trying to convert people to all think a certain way, as opposed to how do we enhance our life as black people. I don't see how we can structurally improve the quality of life for black families, for black people. It's all about, well, the Bible says this, the Quran says this, which is, I get that. But what, again, you asked, what are the results of that?
And the thing is this: if we, okay, if the conscious community is to represent and to help the Black community, then that means it doesn't matter what religion you are. You're Black, you're affected by whatever it is that they're trying to address. Right. Then what is their strategy in addressing that issue, whatever it may be? Case in point, 2021, this country saw the highest amount of Black homicides of our youth. Right. How was the conscious community throughout the country? I'm not speaking to any one person. How were they instrumental in addressing that self-genocide that went on in 2021? Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like real issues. How are they trying to tackle those? Because they were in touch with the youth. They youth, are in touch. The youth is their audience. So how much did they address the unfortunate situation that was occurring in our communities day to day? In Philadelphia, we had 562 homicides. In Philadelphia alone in 2021. Wow. I saw nobody leading the charge from the conscious community to address that problem. I just want to know, are our youth being well served by the conscious community if they donate so much time and attention to these figures of the conscious community, but walk away with only the knowledge of whatever that person told them, but it doesn't result in anything tangible and productive for the future? That's what I'm concerned about. Mm-hmm. Because if not, then did they just waste 10 years of their life listening? Where's the progression? Where is anything changing in their neighborhoods? Where's the confrontation to the powers that be to make things happen? What is it that makes the conscious community a vanguard for Black people if it has nothing to show for its efforts? This is a question, not an indictment on anybody. Right, right. That's an important that's important to say. And again, guys, I appreciate everybody for coming in. We having a serious discussion about that. Again, like I said, let me say this. Oh, go ahead. To ask your audience if they can hear me okay. I'm wearing a mask because I've had COVID about 4 times, and I don't want to catch it. Oh, they good. They good. They you I good. They can hear me. Yeah, they good. I think I got the camera and everything on here, and so but see, like I said, like this topic here, we talking about a more serious topic. See, if we were here talking about something that's more on the negative end of things, it would be more people. I mean, right now we've only been live for a little bit, but we would have more people. When it's something like this, you don't attract so many people. But see, I know the replay on this is where people gonna really look at the fact that we having this discussion, and the fact that you are raising these questions and raising this awareness. People are going to look at this and they're gonna think like, okay, what is the conscious community really doing? Like, what they doing debates? They debate a lot. They talk about books. They do lectures. Does that put food on the table? I mean, does it give youth jobs? Right. That's what I see. I mean, if anybody got any other thing that they feel like the conscious community, because my position again, when I look at it, I see these people. We talked about on our way here. Mm-hmm. When they do they so caught up in the YouTube celebrity, the whole notoriety that they get, and we forget about the work. And that's what I'm seeing. People caught up in, hey, I'm part of this network. I'm part of the House of Consciousness. I'm part of this or that. I'm part of this group, that group. We do this, we do that. We represent this. It's a lot of superficial stuff. But I really can't say what they really building. Well, I think the one or two people I know, I think they're well-meaning. I think they mean well. Okay. What they're doing, but coming from the era that I grew up in, mm-hmm. The era of the Black Panther Party, right? What's called Weather Underground. These organizations that actually made sure that the government and the people knew that they was a force to be reckoned with. Right. Maybe that's not the goal of the conscious community. I don't understand their goal, especially if they have the minds and the attention of our youth. Then what is the goal of the conscious community? If the goal of the conscious community is deal with.
Yeah, what are they really doing? Like how is it really benefiting us if you're not preparing people for the future?
Especially the youth.
Right.
Especially the youth.
Right. I get that.
Because that's why the Black Panther Party is still highly respected.
Right, because of the work that they did.
The work that they did. That's why the Nation of Islam still respected because of the work that they did. I'm just asking, what is the conscious community doing to have that respect once the people who are well known today are gone? Are there young people coming up in the conscious community that's going to keep them going? And if so, are they going to follow the same imprint that we're questioning today? If it still results in the same thing, what's the purpose of them continuing on? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not understanding their purpose. And I asked this question about 10 years ago, and here we are 10 years later.
You say here we are 10 years later.
I don't see it.
Okay, for me, just my experience, coming into YouTube, I didn't really understand what this was. And so I supported people in certain things and that I thought could work out. And over time, I slowly, you know, took some of that support away because, I saw a lot of drama, a lot of, nonsense going on. I didn't see things. I'm like, there should be markers. Like 5 years from now, we won't want to be here. Another 5 years, we want to be here. All I'm seeing is like people still doing the same live. They're doing the same live streams. They're doing the videos. They go live. They ask for money. Um, and there's nothing wrong with the content creator benefiting, but it has to benefit the community. And they do these events. I guess they feel like that make money, but that's far and few between. But we talked about the brick and mortar. We're talking about, the tangibles. I don't see it. I don't know they have an answer for that. You know, uh, to me, when I hear that, it's more like, oh, you be quiet, guy, you don't know what you're talking about. Just it's can someone come up with a plan?
And remember now, we're talking about a cohesive plan that includes the whole country because they are heard around the country, not just in Philly or New York or Maryland.
Right.
They're heard throughout the whole country. So is their objective to create something that's conducive to the whole Black people throughout the whole country? And if so, where are they at in that? Who's leading that? Who's strategizing that?
Right.
Or are we just listening to a lot of mouthpieces to say whatever they want to say and then call it a night?
Right.
I'm trying to understand this, and I made this call out publicly over 10 years ago.
Right.
Because they call us elders or whatever the case may be, but it's a sad situation when I look and I see the youth today, and I don't see them being led. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't see them
the examples.
Now, they may be following people, but I don't see them being led. I don't see any leaders.
Okay.
In the Black community, period. Black America, I see no leaders.
I see a lot of people that have their own self-interest. And to me, everybody's operating from a position of self-interest as opposed to community first.
Right.
And that's a problem.
And we suffer from that. In the end, we're going to be the ones that suffer. Our kids are going to suffer.
Yeah.
You see, because if nobody's leading them, then they're leading themselves. And they're walking around in circles or they're jumping on the first thing that takes their attention. But there's no disciplined path that I see that Black America is going in. Politically, otherwise. I mean, the Democratic Party, everybody swore the Democratic Party was for the Black people.
Now, and that's obviously not the truth.
Nobody could care less about the Democratic Party.
No, they don't. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But there's no one black organization out here either.
Right.
Including the NAACP, that people admire and respect enough to say they represent us.
So let me ask you a question. Okay. The most recent relevant civil rights, I guess you want to call it civil rights organization, that became under a lot of scrutiny was Black Lives Matter. If you want to, now I don't know now. So what is your, because Black Lives Matter had resources, they had money, they
had white people.
They did.
That's what they had.
And but it was supposedly started off by black women, and then it became, if you read the tenets, and I even got into arguments with online people about it was a scapegoat for the LGBT community.
Exactly.
And so there were people, my channel got struck for hate speech for talking against those things. And
I don't know if it was a scapegoat. It might have been a precursor for activities that the LGBTQ wanted to have.
Okay.
Okay. And I think they worked in cahoots to get it where it was. But the bottom line was those Black Lives Matter protests, which I was involved in.
You was there, yeah.
Which a lot of conscious community people, at least where I was there, I didn't see any of them.
You didn't see none of them participate.
That's across the country.
Yeah.
New York, I did go to some up there. I'm sure some of the conscious community was out there. I would assume.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
My bottom line is,
I
don't know how much they represented themselves during those riots. But I do know, and I personally can attest to this, the white folks basically were the catalyst for that, led that, and dismantled that.
They put the money
to where it is right now. I remember being into a protest in Philadelphia where I was attacked by white kids in the BLM protest.
Wow.
Yeah. They were
attacked. You was attacked. I didn't know they attacked you.
And I had it on.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So what was the basis of them wanting to attack? I'm not understanding that, brother Jamal.
They thought I was the ops because I had my phone and I was recording like I always do. So one white kid came, knocked my phone down from the back. Another one came and hit me from the front.
What?
So I chased the one that went to the front.
You chased him?
Yeah, I chased him and I grabbed him, and it wound up being a girl. I didn't know it was a girl.
Oh.
And and they were in a neighborhood that I'm very familiar with, a black neighborhood.
Wow.
These are white kids in a black neighborhood accusing me of being ops in my neighborhood.
Wow.
So, I had a few words with them and then threw it to the side and then we kept on moving. The point I'm trying to make is there was not truly a black-led, black-influenced movement.
Right.
Other people hijacked that and took charge.
Yeah, they did. They gave that, I think George Soros.
That could not have happened if it had been a Black Panther Party movement or protest or riot.
Right.
That could never have happened. And that's what I'm saying. Where is the strength of our movements today? Where's the strength of our organizations? Where's the strength of the conscious community, even in something like that?
Right. That's incredible. I had no idea. Yeah. I know that George Soros gave him a lot of money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was like the person that really started. He was the one that was at the forefront of them having the resources. It started off real small, and then they suddenly got all this money, and they had all these. They had a Black Lives Matter organization. Houston was one of the spots. A lot of the major cities had their own little, location or headquarters and stuff like that. And then it just.
Well, see, they do some of them do constructive work. I've done marches with them. One in particular, leader in New York, he and I have done some work together. Mm-hmm. And done some marches down to DC. And I know he's sincere in what he's doing. My main problem with them was you couldn't find them when it came to all this gun violence going on in our communities.
Yeah, it's a problem.
They never aligned with us to approach gun violence in our communities. I never understood that. Never understood it. So I'm saying them and the conscious community and all these other organizations that claim to be about us, where they at when we need them.
Right.
Back up a better way.
Right. That's like the last one. I mean, you have other, organizations that are small. Uh, you have things as far as from a national standpoint, you don't see that. But you do have your local stuff, like we just left a place that does work,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I mean, to me, as long as a system is in place.
There you go. That's right.
We even talked about even the issues of people wanting to go and repatriate to Ghana and other African countries. Like, where is, like, for an American to go there? And I believe in having a relationship as a Pan African. Like, but if we were to move there, we bring in our resources, not just but our you know our intellectual uh uh resources along with that. Like, we got people who are highly skilled, who are degreed, who are professional, who are educated, inventors, and all that. But we have African Americans have a high level of that in our community. We have $2 trillion discretion, basis as a community.
Right.
Compared to the rest of the world, not many countries can say that we. So, like, if we were to do that, we're bringing that to whatever.
Along with our money.
Yeah, with the money, of course. That's like top of, but we're bringing these things. But when we hear Pan African or Black nationalists or someone that's uh, of African, an indigenous African in Africa, saying, like the year of return we talked about, the United States financed that $25 million. They gave Ghana that money to do the events and all that stuff, to advertising for African Americans to potentially come there. Ghana is a country where you can go through the process. For years they had a real estate program where you took this class, they give you land and all this. You had to learn their history and all that stuff. I think that still is. So they've reached an olive branch, and now people are trying to do the dual. But then in that, there's not a system where groups and masses of people will go there, where they have housing, food, a job, education, school. That's where people see a benefit to going. And so when we're looking at the conscious community, I think that we also got to look at these guys, the history of who these guys, what they were doing before they did this. And that kind of, like, because if you wasn't doing the work before you went on YouTube, you're not going to do the work after you use on YouTube. So if you had a reputation of being in the community before YouTube, you're gonna still have that. But if you just popped up out of, and you calling yourself Robert X, and I'm used to that, and I read this, and I read books that I've already been read, and telling nobody anything, but you present in a way that's not community activism.
And maybe I just have a bad expectation based on my own upbringing, as far as my expectation from the conscious community or any other community,
right,
organization as it pertains to Black people. Maybe it was never in the cards to be what it is I'm looking for.
Well, then if they not being what you're looking for, they're not really doing the work, or they're not even doing part of that. I'm not saying, you creating the goals and they have to follow this or you fail, right, but we don't have tangibles.
We don't.
So that, to me, regardless of, let's just say the we're gonna do farmland. We're gonna buy farm. That's the base. Where's the farmland? There's no farmland, which to me is a big part of nation building. You got to have land, and you have to have the ability to create your own food, harness that food, transport that food, sell the food, and so on. There's a whole economy behind, farming. Farming is a thing. People get rich off of big farming is a big thing. That, to me, nutrition is important.
The latest thing Trump did in discarding the I believe it was a like anti-segregation bill, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for those who feel that that's going to affect us negatively, let's just say, well, let's go even further. Let's go to the DI. Anything that could affect Black people negatively, especially our youth. Right. To me, is a call for the conscious community with all the ears of all the youth that they
all the people they claim they have
to mobilize in their city and do something. Right. And put them on the map. Why hasn't that not been done? I don't understand.
Right.
I don't understand.
I don't think they have an answer for that. I don't think people want to really let's see, somebody want to call in. People want to come up. I don't know. Do you want to talk to anybody? Okay, I'm gonna let you all come up. Since people want to come in, I'm gonna let y'all come in. I didn't plan on it, but we're gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna send the link out, and I'm gonna say this to everybody. You're gonna be respectful. We're not gonna be about foolishness because we're talking about real legitimate conversation. And if by any means uh you say something or whatever that's out of hand, you are going to be taken out of the show. So I just want to make that clear, so that we don't get confused on how we carry ourselves. So the link is here, guys.
Come over there with you.
Huh?
Should I come over there?
Yeah, I'm gonna come around. Just give me a second. What's going on? This is broke.
Brother Bahoke.
Oh, brother Bahoki. Okay, how you doing, brother? Let me. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm gonna come
Jamal.
over.
How you doing?
Bahoke, yeah, how you doing?
All right, what's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hey,
So, is there anything you wanted to talk about as we have this discussion? Is there anything you wanted to comment, feedback on what we're saying?
yeah, hold on one moment. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm at school. I'm a
Okay.
school teacher. All
Okay.
right. Now, I've been listening to some of the stuff y'all were saying, and I used to be a part of that whole conscious community. I got disillusioned by the movement because it was something but all talk and no action.
Right.
So a lot of folks, they just, to me, they're posing. They being
Okay.
posers. They talk a good game, but where's the real estate? Okay, where's the commercial real estate? Where's the residential real estate? Y'all got all this money, you got all these people, but y'all not putting anything together. Now, I'm not saying nobody in there is doing anything. Don't you get me wrong. There's some that are, but I don't see that effect, going on. And they've been, this quote unquote conscious community has been around since like the late 80s, early 90s. This is our generation, those of us that's in our 40s and 50s.
Right.
And
Right.
some getting ready to push 60. So, and to me, man, I'm trying to figure out, well, what are you guys doing? You know, I mean, sitting around just talking about it and crying victim, that's not going to cut it. It's going to take money, it's going to take resources, and a sense of cohesiveness, and just a sense of love for one another. That I don't see that happening. I really don't. And like I talked to Jamal previously, we've been on some marches and stuff together. I was being honest, man. Our age group, they spoiled. Let's be real. They
Okay.
pretty
I mean,
spoiled.
they spoiled.
Yeah, they spoiled. They don't want to do no work. They want everybody else to do the work, but they don't. They don't want to do nothing. To me, and this is my humble
They
opinion,
spoiled.
they spoiled.
I can't say whether they
So what do you think about the online conscious community online?
You really want? You really want to know? Please. To me, a lot of it's a joke. I'm gonna tell you straight up. A lot of it's a straight up joke because it's too much finger pointing and name calling. Like I agree with Jamal as he said in the past with about the name calling. Come on, man. We in our 40s and 50s. We ain't in high school. We're not in middle school anymore.
Right.
Come on. I'm 50 years old. We don't have time for the foolishness because we got generations behind us and they're looking at us. And and it's bad enough a lot of these youngsters that's in their 30s, 20s, and teenagers and even the youth, they don't respect us. because of all the foolishness going on. How you expect people to take you seriously if you sitting around calling each other names, you
Right.
know, and doing all this nonsense that you should have been done with after eighth grade, after ninth grade, you know?
Right. I get that. I get that. So yeah. So like you said, you said Jamal said, brother Jamal said he said this 10 years ago. Now we like here now, and it's like it's the same. It's nothing has changed.
Absolutely, he's absolutely right. You know, and the thing is, I think collectively as a culture, we have to stop crying victim. You know, if we're going to work with each other, let's do it all the way, or just sit down and be quiet. Because going to a neighborhood reunion or going to this and that, that's not going to help it. That's not going to help it. And then people are crying Black Lives Matter, but when someone in our own inner city is getting killed or in our community, we don't hear a peep out of them.
Right.
Right.
We don't hear a peep,
Don't hear
and
one
that's not
word.
good. Not one word. Not one. Not one word. You know, Jamal and I, we've been out there, you know, in the streets at night in Philadelphia, you know, and we've gone to other cities and stuff. But that's good. That part is good. But we should be doing projecting our energies on other stuff, not just having a neighborhood reunion or we get together when somebody gets killed that we know and going to a funeral. That's not enough. I'm tired of going to funerals. I really am. And but yet y'all let these people running rampant in our neighborhood, you know, victimizing other people, and but nobody want to do nothing. But yet you want to cry. You want to cry in the next minute. It's not cool. Not cool at all.
Mm, okay, I hear you.
You
Okay.
know?
So yeah, so we decided. So how'd you learn about my channel? You just watched and saw Jamal, or did you know him, or do you usually watch? Because you're a person I'm not familiar with.
Well, I've met Jamal actually at a rally in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, where we were protesting for a better contract for us teachers. When I used to
Okay.
teach out in the state of Arizona, I met him at the state capitol. It was at 2018, so I've known him for about 7 years.
Oh wow.
And I went to school with one of his sons, Dr. Umar, back in the mid '80s.
Okay.
We went to a middle school together.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so you know, I'm familiar with Dr. Umar, and of course, I met Jamal decades later. But
Okay.
I happened to see him on there, and you guys were talking about Let and Honor. That's a classic example of what's wrong with our generation.
Okay. Go ahead. You're free to expound on
I
that
I,
if you
I gotta
like.
be quite frank. For I
Go
don't
ahead.
know
Be as frank as you
him.
like to be.
Look, I don't know him personally,
Okay.
but what kind of a man, as he always is saying, what kind of a man, you know, sits on this social media platform for over 10 hours talking about another grown man who he does not know, he's never interacted with, he's never shook hands with. How do you do that? And you have 5 children and a wife. Doesn't make sense to me. And then you talk about that man's father who you don't know, you've never met,
Right.
and then you want to call him these names and this and that. He's done a lot more for this nation, this planet, more than you have. This man put his life on the line. He could have been in war. I'm talking about you, Jamal. You could have went to war and gotten killed for this country. He put that uniform on. He was a drill sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. He done something. I have more respect for him than this joker or
Right.
this guy. I ain't gonna call him a name. No, we ain't doing that. I'll be a hypocrite if I call him that. That's wrong. But come
Okay.
on, that's an embarrassment to our age group and our generation. It's an embarrassment.
It is. It really is.
It really is, and it really needs to stop.
I understand it. And then, like I've just learned about the blatant disrespect that Lennon Honor has towards our brother with some of the verbal, things, denigrating him, calling him out of his name,
Right.
things that I say I was not aware of these things until recent because I don't watch Lennon like I used to kind of because I always spoke out against him, but I didn't know he was taking it to a more aggressive manner. I had no idea about that.
Right, and that's not right. This man's an elder. He paid his dues like a lot of other elders out here, putting their lives on the line for so we can enjoy the rights and privileges that this country has to offer and what we're doing in our community. If it wasn't for people like Jamal and my cousin who's now deceased, he served in Vietnam. And I have my grandfather served in World War II. My great grandfather served in World War One. If it wasn't for veterans like these men, we wouldn't be where we are today. So
Right.
he owes Jamal a huge debt of gratitude. Instead of picking out this and that and the other, when you don't even know the man, you never even walk with the man or talk with the man. You never met him, so to me, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it really don't. But I guess that's the YouTube. I mean, it's the online stuff. This is what these guys do. They get away with it. I mean, it's about money because they have an audience that pay them to do this.
Right, but shame on them. There's other ways you can make money. You can do ride shares. You can go in real estate. You can do investing in the stock market and live off the dividends of that. There's other ways of getting money legitimately.
Right,
And
right.
I overheard you say on your last podcast that Lennon didn't have a degree. It looked like a degree when I once watched the video that he got from University of Phoenix. But cybersecurity, what are you doing with it, dude? You spent all
Yeah.
that money all that time. What are you doing?
Yeah, all I know as it relates to the cybersecurity, I thought, I mean, he claimed he was in school on and off for years. I do know once he claimed he obtained his degree,
Yeah,
uh, he stopped doing YouTube and was only doing things on his Patreon. And then um, he was gone for like 6, 7 months, claiming that he was going to work and stop doing as much YouTube. Then he came back. So I don't know. Something happened with that because
yeah.
his whole work schedule, his whole YouTube schedule changed. It went from rarely doing lives, but maybe once a week or a couple to now I'm back doing videos every day again, doing 2 and 3 live streams in a day, stuff like that. So that something happened with that certification or whatever that is,
Right.
that he's back doing the same thing over again.
Like I said, I don't know. I mean, that's his business. But my thing is, when you're a grown man, to me, this is just me personally. How can you concentrate your life on two men, not one, but two men, and you don't even know them? And to me, that's chatty patty stuff. You should be
Right.
focusing your energy on your wife, your family, your sons. And what kind of example are you leading for your sons? Because to me, that looks like, oh, it's okay for you to talk about another man, and for like hours upon hours, and you up here putting this man's family out there too.
Right. It's crazy.
That's not fair. That's
It's
not
not.
fair at
It's
all.
it's it's it's
And it's
it's
wrong.
wild, but that's the reality of what we deal with him, and it has taken its toll as far as what Jamal had to deal with. No one should have to go through that. Particularly, he's not a content creator. He's not a person on
No,
YouTube. He's not but regardless of who he's related to, he's
right.
not involved in that. So
He's
he
not. No, he's not.
respectfully asked, "Can you please keep it to just the online? Don't add family and all of these other people into. You don't. There's no need to bring in
Right.
Umar's family or whomever. Keep it to just you and him. Like
Exactly.
there's no need
Or
for all of that."
yeah, or in my opinion, I think you should leave him alone. That's just me. Just if you don't agree with Jamal's son, with Dr. Umar, if you don't agree with him, leave him alone. If people want to follow him,
Right.
follow him.
Right.
Regardless of what you think of him or whatever. Just if you don't agree with it, just be quiet. Leave him alone. Leave it alone. It's not that hard to do.
No,
This
it's
life
not.
beyond these this technology and stuff. I know I got a life. I go outside. I do other things. I don't just stay in the one building all day long and online. No, I have a life. And he should get one too. That's just me. And I mean, that's real talk, Darrell. You know what I mean?
I hear it, man, but this has been going on. Like I specifically stopped covering Lennon Honor because
Right,
number one, it was too repetitive. I knew that he basically don't have a leg to stand on as it involves his real life, and I just felt it was a waste of time. And so I had no idea he was saying all of these derogatory statements, offensive language, bullying, cyberbullying, harassment,
right.
all of those things, defaming, Jamal's character and stuff. I had no idea. I really didn't because I just really stopped paying attention to him.
Right.
But it's hurtful to hear that he's continuing to just beat this and beat this and beat this, and it's not necessary. It's really
Right.
not necessary.
It really isn't, because Jamal, the time I've interacted with him, the man's been positive. The man is out there putting his time and energy. He doesn't have to make Philadelphia safe, where we come from. I was
Right,
born and raised in Philly. I'm West Philly. I'm from West Philly myself. You know, I don't want to see these kids getting killed because I got students too. They should be running up and down the street. And there was a time where when I was a youth, I used to see the elders on the porch on Sunday night having dinner and listening to the oldies. They should be able to do that still,
right. Should have
but
the
they
right
can't
to
even
do
do
that.
that, huh?
Yeah, they should have the right to be, to live and do things feeling safe.
Exactly. And that's what he was trying to do, and I helped him out. I'm trying to do that as well. Because I'm fighting for my grandnieces and grandnephews, that's growing up now, and these youth now, they have to have that. They have a right to that. So I'm out here in the streets doing the real work. But these guys gotta get it together. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Get it together.
So Jamal, can you talk a little bit about the what is it? Stop shooting us or
Stop killing us.
stop it? SKU. Did you participate in SKU?
You better believe it, I did. I sure did. I sure
Okay,
did. As
good.
much as my
So
time
can you
could.
talk to, because I think that's admirable. Like, can you talk more for those that don't know about SKU? If you could talk more about that.
Well, basically, SKU, we did 7 marches in 7 years from Philadelphia to D.C. to address gun violence and police brutality. Within the city of Philadelphia, we would go out after the homicide of, unfortunately, of another young black man. We would go out and we would protest at that site, and at the same time try to encourage the community to come out with us so that we could try to encourage those that are killing us to stop it. We did protests outside of City Hall. We've had to confront the mayor. We've had to deal with City Council. Our main goal was to try to help stop the killing that was going on.
Right.
And we did this up until probably about a year ago.
Okay.
I kind of like got off the street, and a brother here, he used to come out with us. We also used to do patrols late at night in the worst neighborhoods that homicides were happening in.
Right. Right. Right.
So that the people in those neighborhoods could feel safe and secure. You know,
Right.
that's why I'm saying you can do the talking, but you also got to do the walking.
Yeah, you have to do
You
the
know what I
work.
mean? And we actually did the talking and the walking.
Better
We
believe.
actually went to the neighborhood, and then we went on up to City Hall.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
see, we can do that. That's why I'm not understanding why it's not getting done in other areas.
Yeah, and to me, I don't, this is just me, and Bahoki, you can kind of give me like, don't they understand that when you do the work, it makes for better content? Like when you film and record yourself in the trenches, it makes better content than you sitting in a studio talking about what black people need to do instead of you having real life interactions, occurrences. You talking about the pros and the positives and negatives, the things that happen. That actually makes for better content.
Exactly.
So
And
I don't
you get respect that
that
way too.
really baffles me that they don't look at it from that perspective. Like you going and marching, or you going and taking people through litigation through court, or doing other things with other organizations to change things educational wise, healthcare wise, with gun safety, or going in advocacy within that makes for better content if you are
Yeah.
conscious and for the community.
Right. Because it's not just words, you put action behind those words as well.
Right.
And I think that's important. And Jamal, I've seen it for myself. I've experienced it. This man is not all mouth. He's action. He puts action behind his words. He's a man of action. He's
Right.
actually doing
Right.
it.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right.
who we are.
So is there anything else you wanted to say? Because we're getting ready to wrap up. We didn't want to be on too long.
Okay.
Because I do have some things I got to get back to. I'm basically hanging out with my brother for a little bit. So help him pass his time for the day before he fly out of here. But I wanted to, is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
No, just like I like to see Jamal again. We missed you, man. Come on back. Come on back.
I hear you.
You know?
Okay. All right, brother. Appreciate you for coming in.
And thank you for having me. I'm very
All
appreciative.
right, it's been a pleasure.
All right, take it easy.
Take it easy. All right.
Take care.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Again, guys, this is D Durrell. I'm broadcasting from the D Durrell sector and also D Durrell Live. I know that this was an impromptu live stream. I've been hanging out with my brother Jamal. He did an interview with me, giving a message out to Lennon Honor on his felonious behavior online, uh, and so on. He is actually in H Town right now for a short period of time till he flies out to take care of some other business, doing business in the community. And so I just wanted to have a conversation with him. I'm showing him around. He's been to some of the community organizations that we have in Houston. Hopefully, he'll be coming back to engage in some work with some of these people, as he talked about. And he's doing the work. He is literally doing the work. You don't need to go on you like. There's nothing wrong with going on YouTube hours in a day to say that's fine. But are you really doing the work? So we telling the conscious community, show us some tangible. Show us what are you building? What are you improving? What are you having an effect on? What are we supporting you for?
And we're asking respectfully.
Respectfully, as Brother Jamal say, we saying it respectfully. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. I think I'm at the I'm at the hour. Oh, it's been an hour, about 51 minutes. So we're out. Oh, hold on. Somebody else is coming in. Give me a second. Chaos Rain.
Can I keep it
Okay.
short? Can I keep it short
Yeah,
if
keep it
possible?
short. Yeah, because go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. How you doing, Mr. Johnson? My name's Cass Rain. Me and Mr. Brown had your son on 2 years ago, and during that time, he was trying to I guess the conversation with him with the bald eagle, and then talk about his projection, what he's trying to accomplish overall. And one thing he just said during that interview we had with him, now going almost actually probably, I think it's now 2 years now, wants to build a school in regards for his legacy. And I caught that during that whole time I was part of that interview, and I went for the replay from my channel on that, and it baffled me. Said, "Wait, I thought you building this for the future of boys and girls, not in regards to carry your legacy." So right there, when he exposed himself, and I think he probably rephrased his response to that that same day. But you can't slip up and say you build this just for yourself. You're supposed to build this for the future of boys and girls. So the tenement of the work you were doing and what the outcomes of it with the support of the community, the people. You get me? So overall, I knew then and there that if he does get this school established, it's only something that he thinks he accomplished, but nothing more, nothing less. It's never something that's going to perpetuate or move forward the children that will be the men and women of tomorrow, Black people. I don't know if I was clear on that. What is your response to that? Because look like he's doing this for himself and not something for the future of the children, the school.
I believe that he is doing it for the future of the children of the school. I think that if this does come off and get done, of course, it'll be up and running and it'll continue even after he's gone. So hopefully
Mm-hmm.
that will be done. Of course, his name will be at the top of the legacy of that school if it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do believe he had and that he has the intention of that school up and running and benefiting our children. I believe that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Someone else came up.
Yeah, what's
Let me
up,
see.
Seth Marie? I see you came up. What you got to say, Seth? Seth Marie?
Is that a man or woman? Steph Marie.
That's the man. Seth, can you hear
Oh.
me?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
That's me. Yeah,
You
can you hear
had
me?
any questions?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I got a few
I'm here,
questions.
man. I'm
Hey,
good.
Mr.
How are
Jamal
you?
Johnson, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I was just telling Mr. Johnson, Be the Real knows for years I've been following Dr. Umar. I think he's one of the top, he's a good black leader. I'm not putting him on the level of Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or Fred Hampton, but I say he's good. They are great. So, maybe he can become great one day. Who knows? But like I said, I'm a big follower, and I've seen him 3 or 4 times, and you raised a good, good son. I think he's one of 9 kids, and he said you was always in his life. So he always giving you respect on that standpoint. Um, as far as it would be nice one day for you and him together to work together. Hopefully that can be arranged one day. You know, and you and him can work together because I think you're elder, and you're the son of him, and who knows. I just got I'm not into what these haters say because, like I said, I'm been on Lennon Honor and his fakeness for years now. I used to be a follower of his, but when he started getting on this getting clout with Dr. Umar, kind of lies, basically lies for clicks and views. Then I became, outed with him, and I stopped following him. And I made a few videos on him, disregard his lies because he tells a lot of lies just for clouds and views. Do you think you can answer this question now? Umar is not for interracial relationships. I did see a picture surface of your daughter, your granddaughter that was married to a white man, and you was there. Is that picture accurate?
Very accurate, and I'm proud of it.
Okay. Okay. That's what that okay, I got you. So okay. Yeah, so it was a picture service sitting around and then, Dr. Umar, he's 100% against interracial relationships. And, he said he don't mind, people that's biracial going to a school or have let's say a sexual, a diverse sexual, with themselves.
Orientation.
So your orientation, exactly, that's the word I was looking for. And so he said he don't mind, he don't hate nobody, but he's staying, 10 toes down on no interracial relationships, and he would like for black men and black women to be together. So that's his concept and that's his philosophy. And like I said, he's become extremely popular and then worldwide. So I know you've been an activist since the 70s. Am I correct?
I'm sorry.
You've been an activist since the 70s, 1970s?
Yes,
Am
sir.
I correct?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
yeah. Yeah, so he talks well about you. He talks well about you. He said y'all got 2 different philosophies on interracial relationships and stuff like that. But he said, he does get his activism from you. He said he's a Pan-Africanist, but he does get his activism from his father. And so I just say, hey, you raised 9 kids. Wow, that's something to be admired. And you're a stand-up father and you still do activism from what I've heard. And that was pretty much more of a statement than anything. And hopefully y'all can work together one day soon. So who knows?
Well, let me say, I respect his views in
Mhm.
reference to interracial marriages. I
Yes.
just don't. I just don't follow them.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. To each his own, but
Yeah.
like I said, yeah. Have you ever been to any of his platform, because he all around the nation. Have you ever been to any of his lectures, like when he
Yes,
goes to Ohio?
yes.
Okay.
One
Okay,
time.
okay. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, I'm glad, show some support, and I'm glad to hear that. Because I don't want this narrative, they distance from each other and don't know anything about each other since they were grown, because I don't want that narrative to be out there. So I'm glad I'm hearing it from your mouth, you as the father. So, mhm. So that
Okay.
was,
Good. Good. Okay.
yeah, yeah, that was
Um.
pretty much.
Any other questions, Seth? I know we've been going back and forth about. We're not going to talk about the current issue going on. We're pretty much talking about the basis of this particular show is about the conscious community and what they're
Hmm.
building or what the lack thereof.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
as we were on our way to my office as we were going throughout the city, we
hmm.
talked a lot about the lack of growth, the lack of building, like what are people producing? And
What?
so I
Yeah.
know that you're a staunch believer in Dr. Umar building this school and having this school, okay? But
Oh, yeah.
he also was stating, let's look at everybody that's in the
Hmm.
quote unquote conscious. Like, what are they built? What are they attempting to do? What are these? I don't see a lot of that
Well, I
on
agree. I
them.
agree. I agree, and Dr. Umar has, stated that on hundreds of times. That's what really why he's not no conscious in the conscious community like that, because he say it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. They talk black, act black, you know, and sell black, but they ain't got nothing, no building amongst them. It's about individualism and it's about rhetoric more than about action. And I agree with him on that. Because if they come together more and they stop all of this messy and pettiness in the in the background, and come to the forefront and work together, a lot of things could be accomplished, and he's right about that. So, I've seen this stuff front and center with a lot of them, because, it's been guys like, I hate to call the names out, like Brother Polite. We all know his ordeal, and he in jail now, becoming, real fake.
Okay,
And yeah,
all
but you know
right.
what I'm saying. Yeah, he just want to,
I
yeah,
get what you're saying, brother. I get it.
right,
I
right,
get it.
right.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys, because we're at the hour. I didn't want to be on too long because I gotta be back at the office for like 4 or whatever, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So, is any last words for anybody?
I'm glad to see Mr. Jamal Johnson, Umar's father, on, and it was an honor to talk to him, and good luck with your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Hmm.
Chaos. Any last words, brother?
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, Mr. Johnson. It's the first time, hope everything well, health wise and stuff. For man at this point in life, still doing what you're doing, takes a lot of energy, a lot of stressful nights, man, a lot of frustration, man. 'Cause you don't know what the future holds for Black people in America in the 21st century. But like I said, Black people only move better once their back is really against the wall. I don't think a lot of Black people got their backs wall entirely yet to really start responding properly, in my opinion.
Right.
All right,
Okay, guys.
take care.
Well, I do appreciate everybody for being here once again. This is D Durrell here with Jamal Johnson. We're in here having a conversation. We had an important conversation about the conscious community, and we're gonna go ahead and cut this one short. I think an hour was adequate for this. Was no lean. I wasn't trying to have a long live stream today. I probably may go live again later on this evening in review of what has happened and things like that. So, guys, I appreciate it. We're getting ready to kind of, go ahead and end this live and enjoy the rest of our day. Again, guys, I appreciate you all for supporting the channel, the D Darrell live channel, and also the D Darrell Sector channel. Y'all have a great day. Peace.